The experiences and creativity of Midwestern lyricists are a far cry from connotations of cornfields, cattle, and vast expanses of Americana. Bone Thugs-n-Harmony, Big Sean, and Kanye West may rep flyover country. However, their lyrical composition, delivery style, and zest for musical expression lead the pack in every category. On this episode of Respect Due, we're giddying up to look at hip-hop artists from the Midwest. Bone Thugs-n-Harmony was a breath of fresh air when they landed on the hip-hop scene. The four young men from Cleveland initially had a lot to prove, since then called B.O.N.E. Enterprise, Crazy Bone, Lazy Bone, Busy Bone, and Wishbone, later to be joined by Flesh and Bone, doggedly pursued Eazy-E in the hopes of securing a record deal in late 1993. After auditioning for him in a concert dressing room, Eazy-E decided to work with the young quartet, and the rest is history. Their first record, Creepin' on a Come Up, debuted in 1994. The album sent shockwaves through the genre as Bone Thugs-n-Harmony's raps largely mirrored life in inner cities on the coasts, and they were melodic. It was like an amalgamation of NWA and Boyz II Men. It was harmonious, hard from the streets, and ultimately fire. Charting at number 12 on the Billboard Top 200, the album broke genre-specific barriers and went mainstream. While the boys from Cleveland were on top, their world would soon be turned on its head with the passing of their friend, mentor, and executive producer Eazy-E in 1995. While the group experienced insurmountable loss, their following release, E 1999 Eternal, would be their most successful album, certifying 4 times platinum by the RIAA. While the Thugs went on to release albums The Art of War in 1997, BTNH Resurrection in 2000, Thugs World Order in 2002, and Thug Stories in 2006, Strength and Loyalty and Thugs in 2007, it wouldn't be until in 2010 when they partnered up with Flesh and Bone, who had been incarcerated since 1998, for Uni-5, the World's Enemy. Bone Thugs-n-Harmony would continue bringing their rapid-fire delivery and varied lyrical narratives on future projects, including a single with The Game in 2012, The Art of War World War III in 2013, a to-be-auctioned single copy of E 1999 Legends in 2014, and a duet album featuring Busy Bone and Crazy Bone entitled New Waves under the Bone Thugs moniker. Most recently, all 5 Bone Thugs-n-Harmony members reunited to go head-to-head with 3 6 Mafia members in a versus battle for the ages in 2021. The battle reminded longtime fans and introduced unaware viewers to Bone's rich melodic flows. Bone demonstrates the beauty and originality that emanates from old-school hip-hop. Throughout their existence, Bone consistently utilizes stellar wordplay, diverse cadence, and tempo changes, making a huge mark on hip-hop, both then and now. Big Sean, a lyrical powerhouse whose ability to string together witty, positive lyrics over hot beats makes him a Midwest hip-hop force to be reckoned with. Big Sean made a name for himself by rapping in weekly battles held by a local Detroit radio station. Met Kanye West in 2005, and in 2007 dropped his critically acclaimed mixtape, Finally Famous, the mixtape, after signing to Ye's Good Music label. In 2009, Big Sean dropped his sophomore mixtape, You Know Big Sean, and followed it up with Finally Famous Volume 3, Big, in 2010. By 2011's release of his first full-length studio album, Finally Famous, Big Sean was increasing his fan base. His now signature use of subdued syncopation, controlled rhyming cadence, and tampered word choice struck hip-hop gold. The album debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200, selling 87,000 copies in its first week. In 2013, Sean released his second full-length project, Hall of Fame, which was certified gold by the RIAA. While Hall of Fame debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200, Big Sean's next project, Dark Sky Paradise, debuted at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and was certified double platinum. Sean's evolution can be seen with these 3 projects. With Finally Famous, solidifying his place amongst hip-hop kings and queens seemed to be the goal. Hall of Fame expanded on the creative concept Sean employed, whereas Dark Sky Paradise was more avant-garde, dabbling in subtlety and atmospheric wistfulness. Big Sean went hard, keeping fans satiated by releasing 2088 in 2016. I Decided in 2017, collaborated with Metro Boomin on Double or Nothing in 2017, and Detroit 2 in 2020. Quickly becoming one of the Midwest greats, Big Sean's listeners have witnessed his musical maturation, concise wordsmithing, elevated articulation, and grammatical phrasing. We'd be remiss not to give props to this Motor City lyricist. Big Sean is doing big things. Chicago's own Ye, the artist formerly known as Kanye West, has a legacy that will be ingrained within the history books of hip-hop and pop culture. Since Ye's debut album, The College Dropout, in 2004, no one can deny what Ye has done to advance the medium. Through his creativity, fashion, and catalog, Kanye helped expand the image of an MC in mainstream hip-hop. It's undeniable Ye's candor, production skills, and creative vision gave agency to the next generation of hip-hop artists to be authentic, expressive, and creative. What sets Ye apart from other artists is his hyper-dynamic ability to shift from one musical approach to another. When analyzing his discography, Ye's projects incorporate a myriad of genres and styles, including gospel, soul, house, pop, rock, electro, and punk. Ye's fearlessness to push musical boundaries not only made way for a new sound, but also signaled to his contemporaries and the world that he's a fearless creative motivated by his love of the art. Ye's productions are multi-layered musical compositions that contain captivating hooks, tell a dynamic story, and take fans on an auditory ride, unlike anything they've ever experienced. In the early 1990s, Ye's primary influences came from the dystopian tales of life in New York City. Graduating into the new millennium, West employed a technique referred to by some as chipmunk soul on his earliest three projects: his debut album, The College Dropout, in 2004, Late Registration the following year, and Graduation in 2007. The College Dropout had Kanye acting as producer and artist. To date, the album is certified 4 times platinum. Sampling excerpts from soul, R&B, and gospel albums from decades past, Ye flipped them, making them his own, producing chart-topping tracks brimming with emotion and often enlightening lyrics. His next release in 2008, 808s and Heartbreaks, was a stark deviation from his previous work. Largely affected by the death of his mother the prior year, Dr. Donda West, Kanye's new work oozed with an emotional outpouring of tenderness and vulnerability not seen in previous projects. Rarely seen by any rapper for that matter. West harnessed the abrasiveness of synthesized electropop, creating otherworldly soundscapes that were unfamiliar to most of his audience. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy in 2010 was an overdose of gaudy expressionism that was unabashed and callous, putting an assemblage of musical styles he'd explored before to work. Yeezus in 2013 utilized an industrial sound. The Life of Pablo in 2016 saw a return to instrumentation, composition, and arranging. However, West relied heavily on gospel choral samples to convey his message of renewal and salvation. Ye expanded on his foray into gospel music with Sunday Service, a weekly performance of praise that began in 2019, leading up to his Jesus is King album release. He later released Jesus is Born with his Sunday Service choir that same year. Both projects were heavily steeped in spirituality, highlighting Ye's belief in Christianity. Ye's most recent project, Donda, was released in 2021. The project made use of gospel, pop, trap, drill, rock, house, and continued along the path of an oral journey and imaginative inquisition. Ye's breadth of work employs an encyclopedia of musical genres where the constant theme is unrestrained creativity and boundless exploration. A horde of musical icons have drawn inspiration from him, including Adele, Drake, Lily Allen, Nicki Minaj, MGMT, Arctic Monkeys, Lil Uzi Vert, and the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, to name a few. Hip-hop may have been born in the East, but lyricists born and bred in the country's heartland channeled the art form, adding their regional flavor to the conversation. Combining tactful wordplay with relatable subject matter with varied production techniques resulted in millions of hits collectively that resonate with audiences. Without the unfettered inventiveness emanating from the minds of the Midwest, hip-hop wouldn't be where it is today. So much respect is due.